universal as Budweiser. The reason I say this is there's 50 million people with 50 million recipes. You've got the traditionalists, you got the this jackass and that jackass and blah, blah, fucking blah. Look, carbonara is a blank slate. It might be rich, it might be creamy, but it doesn't have a definitive flavor. Okay? Meaning you can make it whatever the fucking flying fuck you want. Now, this is just the recipe that I like to do for carbonara.
Okay, spaghetti carbonara has got to be one of the favorites and one of the easiest damn things to make. To a pot of salted boiling water, you're going to add 1 pound of spaghetti. This is a recipe that can easily feed 4 to 5 people and is really simple, start to finish, 10 minutes. So anytime anybody says they don't have time to cook, I basically give them this recipe. So you want to add the pasta to the boiling water and 10 minutes. You can make it 9 if you want your pasta a little more crunchy, but I go for 10 minutes. And keep in mind, you kind of want to subtract a minute from the cooking time on the packet directions because of the simple fact that the pasta continues to cook for about a minute after it's been drained out of the water. Okay, for the sauce, you basically want to have 1 egg per quarter pound of pasta. Since I'm doing 1 pound, 4 eggs go into the bowl. And then to make it extra creamy, just my opinion, you want to add some yolks. And you want to add 1 yolk per 2 eggs. So in this case, I'm going to extract 2 yolks from the egg. And I've never quite understood the need to have an egg separator. Really, with a little practice, you should be able to use the goddamn shell. Just my opinion on the matter. Okay. And next to the eggs, we're going to add some Parmesan cheese. About 1/4 cup, but you can make it as Parmesan-y as you like. Add a little bit more if you feel like it. And then fresh cracked pepper. We're not really going to add any salt and we're going to add some more Parmesan, so about 1/4 cup or so. Maybe closer to 1/2 cup. There's no real recipe. I just kind of eyeballed this and made it the way I like. No salt because there's enough salt in the Parmesan and then in the bacon we're going to add to this to kind of deal with the salt. And also keep in mind the pasta will pick up a bit of salt from the water. So whisk this up really good, and this is pretty much the sauce. And if you're worried about raw eggs, I'll get to that in a minute. Okay, through the miracle of cooking show editing magic, the pasta is done. Now, some people say this next step is unnecessary, but I say if you would like to eat this again for lunch the next day, then add a little dollop of olive oil to the pasta. This just basically prevents it from sticking together. If you don't do that, you kind of end up with some sticky ass mess of pasta. So, yeah. Don't gotta do much. Just toss it around a little bit with the pasta. And then you want to add. First, you got to make sure the pasta is cooled down slightly. So you want it about 180, 190. Because if you add the eggs in too early, you're going to get scrambled eggs. And then you want to add a generous amount of bacon, which you can use the leftover bacon from the morning. Or if you do have to make it for this dish specifically, about 6 strips of bacon, nice rash of bacon, will do you just fine for this recipe. You can also use turkey bacon if you're watching the sodium or the cholesterol, or you happen to keep things kosher. Or beef bacon will work just as well too. Here's the thing though, some people are freaked out by this recipe because of the use of raw eggs. Well, the pasta is sitting at about 190 degrees right now, getting cooled down to about a cool 140 or something. The cooking process basically starts at 95 degrees. That's why smoking cheese is such a touchy process, because if the fire gets too hot, the cheese will start to melt. So basically, and you can't really see it, but you can see on the rim of that bowl, the little chunks of egg. The pasta was hot enough where I basically made scrambled eggs with some of the eggs. So, trust me, you're not going to get salmonella. Okay, and then to serve this, you've already seen the bowl I was going to use. But you want to take a generous amount of pasta, about a fifth of a pound, fourth of a pound, depending on how hungry you are. Just put it in that little old bowl there. And then to serve this is kind of simple. Little more bacon, not much more, just a little more. Well, okay, if I'm the one cooking it, a lot more. And then you want to take a little bit more of the Parmesan cheese and put it on top. And then another dose of freshly ground black pepper, because A, it makes everything taste great, and B, looks kind of nice. So that's spaghetti carbonara. Done.
And that's carbonara. My way.